Life story, people! If you have a dog, don't let the poop sit for more 3 days. Funny story. If you do this, don't let the dogs be nearby or they will be complete douchebags and poop on the poop that already exists. And pee on it. So the doctor continued, you're only looking for a way back to your own place in time, not a way to become human again, am I correct? Cube nodded. The doctor looked relieved. Excellent, because I haven't figured out how to reverse the transportation yet myself. You two are giving me a headache, Ditzy complained. I don't care if either of you are really ponies or not. I just want you to know I just want to know if you can help Cube get back where he came from. Oh, the doctor chuckled. Well, of course I can. Calibrations will take a few hours, but I can whip up a little something to get you home. Get you home by the end of the day. Geez, I don't know why that's really hard for me to read. Cube's expression brightened considerably. Really? That's great news. Now I can go back where I came from. And I can do what I came to. Now I can do what was planning to do from the first place. And then tonight I can go back home in time for the nightly roundup. Jesus, I'm having such a hard time. Both the doctor and Ditzy stared uncomprehensively at the unicorn. Do I dare ask what a nightly roundup is? Ditzy asked. Cube grinned a little awkwardly. It would be kind of hard to explain. Let's just get going, shall we? I think the doctor has everything taken care of here. The doctor nodded in agreement. Ditzy sighed. Okay, where do we need to go? Cube scrunched up his nose and thought. I'm guessing the mare I'm looking for will probably be at the edge of the woods between here and Canterlot. Then let's get started, Ditzy replied. Canterlot isn't exactly a short walking distance away, you know. Cube nodded. Lead the way then, Derpy. It's Ditzy. The afternoon wore on as the two ponies trotted briskly along the main road. Cube never gave Ditzy a moment to herself. The curious unicorn bombarded her with question after question about all the matters of daily life in Equestria, many of which concerned simple matters that a colt or filly could have answered them instantly. Ditzy was left with no choice but to believe that her client was a resident of another dimension, as bizarre as the idea was. But if the doctor was from the same world as Cube, the Earth pony certainly did a better job of hiding it in public. Hey Cube, Ditzy said loudly, cutting off the stallion's 146th question about the equestrian world. Let me give you one piece of advice that will apply regardless of who you want me to ship with you. Oh, that's so hard. Cube's ears perked up. Yes, you need to stop doing everything you've been doing since you got here, Ditzy deadpanned. No pony is going to like a guy who rants and about being from another dimension and asking all sorts of obvious questions. Just try to act like a normal pony for an hour or two, okay? Cube frowned. But what if I don't know the proper equestrian mannerisms for certain situations? I don't want to make a fool of myself. Well, that's what I'm here for, Ditzy said, to give you advice and instruction about your day that interests you, without, being in her presence. Oh, Cube replied. Gotcha. Thanks for the clarification, Derpy. Look, how many times I'm going to tell you about, you know. Shh! Cube cuts her off. She's coming. Hide! The unicorn leapt into the bushes along the roadside, and Ditzy, somewhat startled, decided to do the same. As the two ponies watched silently from the cover of the brush, a vehicle that could only be described as a cottage on wheels came rolling slowly down the bumpy pathway. The small building was built of yellow-painted planks, with a red roof. A pair of shutters adorned with heart patterns covered the only window, and above the small side door hung a purple flag with a light blue symbol on it. The wheeled building rolled to a stop at the edge of the road, just down the embankment from where the spot that Ditzy and Cube were concealed. There were a few moments of silence, and then the door to the traveling cottage slammed open, and out strode a mare that both of the hidden ponies immediately recognized. The owner of the unusual traveling house was a light blue unicorn with flowing silvery blue mane and tail. Her fierce purple eyes matched nicely with the gaudy cape and pointed hat she wore. Both of her accessories were emblazoned with blue and yellow stars, and the cape fastened with a buckle crafted from a large gemstone. The flashy outfit really did cause the mare to stand out. "You're kidding," Ditsy whispered to her client. "That's the pony you want to be shipped with?" Cube nodded eagerly. But that's the great and powerful Trixie. No one likes the great and powerful Trixie." "Well, I do," Cube replied dreamily, gazing contently at the show mare. "Just look at her, she's gorgeous." Ditsy looked. Trixie was now attempting to unceremoniously to dislodge a pinecone fragment that had become trapped between her front teeth. Ditsy glanced at her client once more in disbelief as he uttered an infatuated sigh. "Okay, fine," the Pegasus whispered. "Go down there and say hello. Tell her you're a fan and ask her for dinner or something. But don't be surprised if her response is less than friendly." "And if she does accept?" Cube asked. "Then tell her to meet you there later, so we'll have some time to plan your date." "But how do I even begin conversation with a mare as perfect as her?" Cube asked. "This isn't just any unicorn. This is the great and powerful Trixie." "I know she's an attention hog. I was gonna say the other one, the one that's a farm tool, but I finally caught the G, and I saw it." Ditsy mentioned, "So copious compliments would probably be a good idea." Cube looked nervous, but he steeled himself and cautiously descended the ridge toward where Trixie sat. The blue unicorn grunted with frustration as she furiously picked her teeth with the front hoof, still trying in vain to remove the pinecone flick. You could just, do magic for that," Cube said quietly. Trixie froze. Her eyes darted over to glance at the newcomer that had suddenly appeared. Immediately, she yanked out the offending bit of pinecone with a tiny burst of magic, and then rapidly turned and gave her rolling cottage a good hard buck, which caused the walls to collapse outwardly, revealing the traveling stage concealed inside. The mare leapt onto the stage to give herself a more imposing appearance, before finally addressing Cube. "Who dares approach the great and powerful Trixie?" she yelled. Cube hunkered down somewhat in front of the intimidating mare, further increasing her illusion of superiority. Hi, my name's, Cube, and I heard you were traveling near Ponyville, so I—" "You're from Ponyville?" Trixie hissed, her face already twisted in a scowl. "So you've come to berate Trixie like every other resident of that filthy rat hole, have you?" "No," Cube cried, "absolutely not. Oh, great and powerful Trixie, I came looking for you because I'm such a big fan, and I really wanted to meet you in person." Shock crossed Trixie's features briefly, but it was quickly replaced with an arrogant smirk. "Well, isn't that a pleasant surprise? Trixie never thought she'd find someone in Ponyville who actually carried an ounce of sense in their seemingly empty skulls." Trixie stood on her front. Wait, hold on. I have to check my time. I'm sorry, but 18:18. Okay, good job, time. Trixie stood on her hind legs, her cape blowing in the breeze, before continuing. "But apparently there is at least one stallion from the dump who actually has class. One who can fully appreciate the magnificence that is the great and powerful Trixie." A string of colorful fireworks. Words like this make me trip up because you know why. Erupted in the air behind the mare as she cried out her own name. Cube clapped his front hoofs appreciatively at the small display of magic. "So, adoring fan," Trixie continued, "why have you sought Trixie out this afternoon?" "To let you know how much I appreciate the show," Cube replied. "May I ask for an autograph?" Trixie scoffed. "The great and powerful Trixie doesn't distribute autographs to just any pony." Cube's face fell off. "But," Trixie continued, "perhaps a pony who has come all the way here just to bask in the glory of Trixie is deserving of a few moments of Trixie's time." Positively giggling with glee, the male unicorn produced a sheet of paper from his saddlebags, passing it over to Trixie in a cloud of magic. Trixie raised a quill of her own magic, and with a little flourish, quickly scrawled out her name on the parchment. "There you are," Trixie mused. "Let it remind you of the greatest and most powerful unicorn in Equestria." Trixie turned and began to lift one of the walls of her unfolded stage back up with magic in an effort to return the vehicle to its original state. Hey, wait, Cube called. I was wondering before you go, would you like to get some dinner or something? Unless you're busy, of course. Trixie produced a most unusual expression, a combination of curiosity and haughtiness. Is the great and powerful Trixie to assume that she has been asked out by a date by a fan she has only just met? Hugh blushed profusely. Well, yeah, if you want. The great and powerful Trixie believes that you consider yourself very lucky that Trixie will not be busy this evening. Perhaps Trixie will humor you and join you on such an outing. The stallion grinned in excitement, but Trixie held up a hoof before he could speak. However, the mayor continued, the matter of venue could be a problem. You see, the great and powerful Trixie is no longer welcome in the eateries of Ponyville, nor would she like to dirty herself in one of the town's nasty grease traps anyways. Canterlot on the other hoof is quite a distance away. It would be too far late by the time we arrived. Q put a hoof to his chin and thought, maybe I could pick up some food at the market and we could just eat here by your caravan. Fine, Trixie said dully, but make haste, peasant, or Trixie shall be bored and moved on. Yes, ma'am, I'll be back in a flash, the stallion proclaimed before turning tail and bolting down the path where Ponyville was. Shortly after Cube was out of Trixie's sight, his gray Pegasus partner swooped in. I have to say, that went better than I thought it would, at least, Ditty admitted as she followed her client back towards Ponyville. I wouldn't say Trixie is interested in you, but she appears to tolerate you. That's enough if you're only after one date. Anyway, yeah, Cube agreed as he ran, but I still need your help. This is my one night in Equestria, and I want you to make sure it's perfect. Don't worry, I'm not leaving until you're satisfied, Ditzy assured him. But that reminds me, how much are you going to pay for this job? Do you have any bits? Don't worry, I can afford it, Cube chuckled. How about 800? How does 800 sound? 800 bits? Ditzy gasped. That's quite above my usual fare. Okay, reading's done. 12:20. I think I might have trouble with this one, but okay.